Hey everybody, Noble Comics here, and I want to talk about the 2020 Eisner Awards. And if you don't know what the Eisner Awards are, they are basically the comic book Oscars. So it's, every year they give out the awards for best series, best artist, best writer, best ongoing series, best new series, all that stuff. And for a while, it was a pretty big deal to win an Eisner. Just like they'd say, Oscar-nominated actor in this movie or whatever. They'd be like, oh, the Eisner-nominated, the Eisner-winning artist is doing this book. And it was a pretty big deal to win. You'd have, great, Batman series winning, everything like that. It was a big deal. And it was the comics that you loved would always get nominated. How the movies you loved used to get nominated, but now it's kind of whichever ones are weirdly political are the ones who get selected. And that's what we're going to see here. So, this is the current modern-day Eisners. I want to roll down here. That's where they start. And right off the bat, so we got Best Short Story, Hot Comb. So, I can guarantee, if you know comics, I know comics. I've been reading comics forever. I know a thing or two about comic books and what's going on in the comic book world today. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just like these videos. Maybe you do know comics. I guarantee you haven't heard of 90% of these winners. Like I said, I keep up with comics. Never heard of Hot Comb. A story about black women's hair. Not even kidding. Story about black women's hair. That's what this story's about. That one in Eisner. We got Favorite Thing is Monsters, Best Single Issue, don't know anything about it. Best Continuing Series, Bitterroot, that actually looked pretty good. Little Bird, don't know it. Best New Series, Invisible Kingdom by G. Willow Wilson. So, if people don't know who G. Willow Wilson is, I don't know if I want to say she's a hack. I've never heard of anything that she's done that's actually good. I've heard a lot of the stuff that she's done, and I hear the media saying that it's revolutionary and everything like that. Never heard that it's actually good. She is a Muslim creator, I believe, and good friends with Sana Amanat, who made the Miss Marvel, the Muslim Miss Marvel superhero. So, Invisible Kingdom, basically a story about two women, probably lesbians, and they are, not surprisingly, anti-capitalist, anti-religion of this, world that they're in. So, it's what you'd expect nowadays, not what you'd expect if you were just stepping into the Eisners from way back when. Best Publication for Kids, Guts, story about teenage girls growing up. They really like that teenage girl demographic for comic books. Comic books, the mostly male customers historically for the last 80 years, but whatever. Way of the House Husband. Sounds worse than it is. It's about a retired Yakuza guy becoming a house husband. But again, it's that emasculation of the man that we see. And then we get stuff like this. Drawing Power, Women's Stories of Sexual Violence, Harassment, and Survival. Best Anthology. Now you might be thinking, Mr. Noble Comics, did I step into a liberal arts program at my nearest university? No, you didn't. You stepped into the comic book world. Right? Isn't that kind of weird? Kind of jarring? You stepped into American comic books. You think, well, isn't that all Batman and Superman and Spawn and all those guys? No, it's this crap. They're usually not as upfront about it, but it's the same thing. Then we got They Call Us the Enemy by super SJW George Takei. Of course, anti-American sentiments in this one. Don't know it. This one's actually probably pretty good. Neil Gaiman's a great writer. The Usagi Yojimbo, I don't know, never read it. It's always looked good to me, so I'm glad that it won something at least. Best Writer, Mariko Tamaki. Harley Quinn Breaking Glass. Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me, which that was up there earlier too. Another lesbian book. Awesome. Harley Quinn Breaking Glass. One of the most liberal propaganda, hilarious books that I've had the displeasure to read. Just like every white person's the enemy, all the girls love each other, all the people of color instantly get along and all think the same way. Most liberal garbage. But yeah, no, best writer for sure, even though, I don't know, a 5th grader could write it, or a liberal arts, gender studies major. They're probably about the same IQ anyway, so I think they got it. Now again, we got Guts back up there again, winning one. Again with another lesbian story. Another one with the lesbian anti-capitalist, anti-religion story. Pretty deadly, don't know it. Good to see. Looks like some actual coloring. Hellboy. Best comic-related periodical. Women Write About Comics. Sure. Why not? Best academic work. Race, Shock, and Social Protest. These are comic books, right? Surely these are comic books, right? I mean, it's like you stepped into a different world. Notice. There is one thing I recognize here. One thing. Okay, I guess I recognize, Silver Surfer, Hellboy. The only other thing about this I can recognize is Archie from the Archie comics. From the 40s. Well, started in 40 up till now. But that's the only thing you recognize. Oh, Archie, I know Hellboy, maybe. I know Harley Quinn. Super liberal Harley Quinn, I know her. Everything else, never heard of. I've never heard of. And again, I do this all the time, all day. I've never heard of it. So, it's just the state of things right now, and it's how embarrassing it is, because where is Batman, Superman? Where is the Justice League? Where is Dark Knight's Metal? Anything. And here I picked a random year, 1992, Eisner's. Literally just picked a random year. I wanted to compare how these things looked. So best single issue. Immediately we got Sin City. We got Sandman by Neil Gaiman. We got Swamp Thing. Real stories, Frank Miller. We got Doom Patrol by Grant Morrison. Incredible Hulk by Peter David. Sandman again. We've got more Neil Gaiman. We've got some Taboo, which you may not have heard of. Batman, Judgment of Gotham. We've got more Sandman. That was a pretty big deal. We got Bill and Ted's Excellent Comic Book. Batman, The Dailies, Batman, The Sunday Classic. Calvin and Hobbes. Wonderful. I love Calvin and Hobbes. Bill Watterson's a genius. Best writer, Neil Gaiman, Alan Moore, David Sim, Grant Morrison. Look at this. Look at this competition. Real competition by real talent. These guys are legends. All of them. John Byrne, Paul Chadwick. I know Peter David. I know Frank Miller, David Sim. Again, look at these teams of just absolute powerhouses. Absolute powerhouses. Simon Bisley, Will Eisner, you might recognize the name, the Eisners. Frank Miller, David Sims again. Adam Kubert, and the Kubert School of Art, Adam Kubert. Art T. Bear, Uncanny X-Men. Love Art too, he's a great guy. Didn't know he was in there, that's kind of cool. Best comic-related periodicals, who cares? Comic-related books, 5 Fabulous Decades of the World's Greatest Detectives, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, Crime Against the Eye trading cards, Love and Rockets. You look at this stuff, Hall of Fame, Steve Ditko, Bob Kane, creator of Batman, Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel, creators of Superman, Steve Ditko, creator of so much Marvel stuff. Absolute legends here. So you look at this, 92, random year I picked, random year, 92. You compare that to 2020. The differences are so shocking. I mean, you've got all of the greats, not all the greats, a lot of the greats going head to head. Crazy. You know, this kind of talent almost doesn't exist anymore. Who is the biggest name from the Oscars today? G. Willow Wilson? Seriously? Versus Neil Gaiman, Peter David, Grant Morrison, David Sim, Alan Moore, Frank Miller, you know, all in 1 year? Get out of here. Get out of here. Calvin and Hobbes, Batman's winning, Hulk's being nominated. I mean, insane. Batman versus Predator, tell me, does Invisible Kingdom, story about, I don't know, two women hating capitalism and religion, or Batman versus Predator? Come on, dude. Insane. So much talent used to exist. But the past few years have just been a jarring shakeup in the way comics are run. No, none of this matters anymore. Being the best doesn't mean you're going to win the best. Being the best means jack shit today, really. Doesn't mean anything. Grant Morrison, if he put out an amazing story about Superman today where he wasn't a liberal crybaby, you know, wouldn't win because I don't know, women write about comics would nudge him out. Ridiculous. I don't see a stop in sight. The only thing I can think is all of us independent guys, all of us who really still care about comics, we just got to jump ship. You know, bail out, ditch the Eisners, make our own awards, you know. Let's make new ones that people will actually take seriously, because they'll actually be merit-based and not, you know, status-based, you know. Oh, I'm a woman, check. I'm a minority, check. I'm a lesbian, check. Oh, okay, you win. You win an Eisner. Congratulations. So stupid. But that's the state of things now, folks. That is the state. Hopefully it gets better. I'm going to do my best just by putting out awesome comics. Cardinal Cult and Punishment, underway, being made as we speak. It's going to be awesome. Cardinal Cult and Punishment would win, should win, over most of these books here, I'd say. All of these are garbage. I'm not garbage. Yeah, I guess that's my hot take for the day. I'll see you guys in the next video.